I've been in the insurance industry for over 7 years now. As a matter of fact, coming up in about a month is my 8-year insurance anniversary, and I am over the moon excited about it. I've been an agent the entire time, so if I had to roughly estimate the number of insurance decision makers that I've spoken to, worked with, cold called, or even networked with over my career, it's probably somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people. And when I say decision makers, these are CEOs, CFOs. I've worked with boards of directors in the past, really anyone that has a seat at the table or input in the insurance purchasing process. The most common mindset that I have observed among the majority of these people is that quoting is the only option. Insurance agents and the insurance industry at large have both created and then perpetuated this belief that people like yourself have that quoting is the only way to get better premiums, that quoting is the only way to find a new agent, that it's the best way to examine options that might be available to you. And it's a staggering number of people who are stuck in this belief that any other approach is not going to get you to the best possible outcome for the organization. And I want to refute this because I couldn't disagree more. I'd like to start with an analogy. When you go to purchase a vehicle, do you show up at the dealership, find a salesman, and say, point me in the direction of your cheapest car? I want the cheapest car on the lot because price is all that matters. For most of us, the answer is no. We're buying a new car because, let's say we have a growing family and we need to accommodate that. We bought a camping trailer, so we need something that can tow that. There's so many factors like safety ratings, like reliability, the cost of maintenance and ownership, the warranty. There's so many different factors that contribute to a purchasing decision for a lot of the different things that we, products or services that we purchase on a daily basis. But that same level of analysis and comparison doesn't seem to be as apparent when it comes to commercial insurance. Again, I have to blame the insurance industry for this mindset, because there's so many different factors that contribute to an insurance policy. A lot of insurance policies are going to be created similarly, but have different forms, different language, different endorsements, and different exclusions that all change or modify, whether it's reducing or enhancing the coverage provided within that insurance policy. So if you've never taken time with an agent to walk through differences between policies, to look at endorsements, to read exclusions, and find out exactly what your policy says, that's not your fault. That's the insurance industry's fault, because when all we're doing is chasing that best price, trying to bring you that best quote, does it really matter what the policies cover if we can get your business by bringing you the cheapest quote? How do you know your policies are meeting your needs, are addressing the services you provide, or the exposures or risks that your organization faces if you're not comparing policies, if you're not finding an agent who can walk you through that process? Quoting is part of the reason why a lot of organizations out there have felt victimized or at the mercy of insurance companies. Some of these organizations may have gone a decade or more without filing a claim, but they've watched their premiums increase steadily over time. Other organizations may have been in a similar position, and then they had a claim. They had to use the insurance they'd been paying for, only to find out at the next renewal they're not being renewed by the carrier because of that claim. Or your rates skyrocket, even more so than they have increased year after year. And this has just put a really bad taste in the mouths of insurance buyers out there, because there's not much clarity in how we operate or how insurance carriers operate. And I don't know if it's by design or if it's just how the cards have fallen, but again, we have the insurance industry and insurance agents to blame. When we provide that clarity to our clients, give them not just a bird's eye view, but an in-depth and thorough level of comprehension of what we do when we get your information, what the carrier does with your information, Some agents feel threatened that you become a more educated or a more informed buyer and would be better able to go find an agent who can better meet your needs. One of the things I love doing, because it helps everyone at the table, is connecting my clients to their underwriters or other representatives at the insurance carriers that I work with. And in some agents' minds, that connection with the underwriter is the only reason they have your business to begin with. But for me, that's how everyone is on the same page. So there's no miscommunications between when you complete the information, you send it to me, and then I send it to the insurance carrier. We can eliminate miscommunication. We can make sure there's a comprehensive understanding of your organization and the risks and your needs across the board. This is just one example of the approach that I like to take with my clients. Another quick example is in the quoting approach. Every agent that's ever quoted your policies has had to ask you for loss runs or your claims history. But how many of those agents have followed up to review those claims with you, to talk through the scenarios or the circumstances that contributed to those claims, trying to identify gaps in your risk management or policies and procedures that may have prevented those claims from happening previously, but could also prevent them from happening in the future? My guess is that not many agents have done that because their only interest in your claims is giving them to the carrier so they can get quotes back. So there's a lot of different aspects of the insurance industry and the approach that so many agents take to it that really don't need to be changed from a fundamental level to improve your experience, to improve your relationship with your agent or your insurance carrier. But because the industry standard and the expectations you have for us are so minimal to begin with, I mean, really, could the bar be lower in most people's minds? That level of creating a relationship, of trying to provide you with value, just doesn't exist, has not existed until very recently. I'm not the only one who talks about stuff like this, but the majority of agents are trained and mentored to chase the best quote they can bring you. So I could continue elaborating for quite some time, but I'm not going to do it in this video. There will be follow-up videos on how the approach could be modified to better suit you. So stay tuned for those videos. But in the meantime, if you have questions or if there's anything at all I can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Regardless of whether or not you're my client, want to be my client, or just want information, I want to help you become a more informed and educated buyer because that will pay dividends for you in the long run.